Okay, just before we crack into today's video, let me explain how you can help us. More and more Kiwis are waking up to the fact that New Zealand is in big trouble right now. So how can we turn this country around? The answer is through education. What does that mean? Well, it means exposing more and more people to our videos. It's as simple as that. Just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll be subscribed. What happens then? Well, when you subscribe, YouTube sends our videos out to more Kiwis. That's how it works. Subscribing is free. You'll never be charged anything. It's just that simple. So please do it and then enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Just by subscribing, you can play a big part in the solution to fixing New Zealand. Well done, you. Well, hi, you beautiful New Zealanders. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the death threat that I have received and what that means. What's in this video? First of all, I reveal, like I say, my death threat and other violence suffered at the hands of Maori. Number two, I reveal what these threats tell us about Maori activists and tribal rule. So watch. Here is the death threat delivered to my phone on Sunday the 5th of February. The police are dealing with this. Near the end of 2024, a group of Maori youth turned up with eggs, bottles and stones, throwing them at my home. This went on for 2 days. They tried to smash a security camera. So the police tell me they've identified the offenders and arrests will be made soon or eventually. Okay. Right, so here are a few photos. This is the guy trying to smash the security camera. He was the same guy throwing the eggs. Here are some of the eggs thrown at the house. They landed on the front of the house. The security cameras we have are effective and some of them are hidden, so they actually worked. Well, so what are we to make of these crimes? What does this tell us about activists? It tells us so much. Like what? Well, for a start off, Maori activists are quick to shut down opposing views. It's clear that activists don't support free speech. If you don't agree with them or they don't agree with you, they turn to violence. Rather than debate issues and argue the points as reasonable thinking people would, they turn to bullying, threats and intimidation. Well, there are a number of comments I would make here. First of all, the shutting down of free speech is a mark of the beginnings of dictatorships. In Germany in the 1920s and 30s, shutting down opposing views was ratcheted up. The shutdown started with mild censorship, for example, belittling people who voiced alternative points of view. They were usually belittled through the press, but it ended up with people being rounded up and shot. That's what happens. So what I'm saying is this. In other words, censorship moves. It starts off mild and becomes very, very severe. Eggs, bottles, stones, and text messages eventually become bullets. That's how it really is. So do we as a country want to move towards Maori dictatorship or not? That's what New Zealanders have got to decide, because that is where we're going right now. This is what's happening. So the following video shows how Maori activists revert to personal attacks rather than sound argument to shut down views they don't like. So watch this.
The so-called indigenous people had a meltdown in Parliament over a bill. And what you may not have seen is what preceded that moment. David Seymour laid out some rational and calm arguments in favor of his legislation. Then the so-called Maori politicians launched into a volley of personal attacks. Watch.
Pressure had been building all afternoon as the government's treaty principles bill came before the House.
The bill does not extinguish any right, it does not take from anyone, it reinforces the rights of the treaty as universal.
David Seymour says the current approach to treaty principles isn't working.
What all of these principles have in common is that they afford Māori different rights from other New Zealanders.
But the rebuttal came fast and furious.
Shame on you, David Seymour. Ngāti Rehia will be ashamed that one of their sons has come up with a political stunt that looks to divide the nation. How dare you, David Seymour? You should be ashamed of yourself, and you are a liar.
Apologise for that last statement.
No, I can't do that.
Going to have to ask the member to withdraw himself from the House for the rest of the afternoon.
Willie Jackson sin-binned, but unapologetic.
Already, this is how you know these people have no argument. They're only capable of shouting shame and resorting to personal attacks to the point that they repeatedly get thrown out of Parliament. Meanwhile, David Seymour is sitting there calmly saying he wants equality.
You know, David Seymour even invited Maori to explain why they are so opposed to his principles, but no one has responded. Not one. Absolutely no one. Watch this.
It commits to give equal enjoyment of the same fundamental human rights to every single New Zealander. The challenge for people who oppose this bill is to explain why they are so opposed to those basic principles.
There you go. And to date, this is now getting on to be the middle of February 2025. Nobody's come forward to come up with a good argument as to why his principles are no good, why they're opposed to them. See? So I just want to move on to something here that's related, and that is that everyone is entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not facts, you see. So one of the issues we face in what we're doing is how people debate with opinions and not facts. On our YouTube videos, we often get abuse such as, "You're a racist," and then that word, or "bullshit," or "Your video is full of crap." So how do we respond to all this kind of abuse? We always respond by saying, please show us where on the video there is crap or bullshit or racism spoken or promoted. And we ask them to show us. And you know what? We rarely get a reply. And if we do get a reply, it's usually just an opinion, not facts. So here is an example. This guy writes, in response to one of the videos, he writes, "Absolute bullshit. Maori never ceded sovereignty. Time will tell, my friend. 185 years. Nothing will change. Set in stone. Waitangi Tribunal 1975 Act done and dusted." So we write back with, "Read this, Paul, which proves Maori ceded sovereignty." And in that document you see there is 12 proofs or facts that Maori ceded sovereignty. We actually we prove the case. So the document given to Paul, like I just said, has 12 proofs or facts proving that Maori ceded sovereignty. But look what Paul comes back with. He says, load of Ngāti Pākehā bullshit. 1840, Maori never ceded sovereignty to British Crown. Notice Paul didn't come back arguing the points point by point. He could have gone through each of the 12 points we made in that document, but no, he doesn't do that. He came back with, quote, "a load of Ngāti Pākehā bullshit," which is just opinion. He didn't come back with facts. See, this is what we have to deal with. So what happens is the discussion just ends because he ends it with an opinion. That's it. It happens over and over. So tribal rule or democracy, Kiwis must decide which one they want and then fight for one or the other. There is no fence to sit on. We can't sit on the fence here. But there's a second danger here. When free speech is shut down through bullying, threats and violence, this indicates what is coming next. What's that? Well, it's tribal rule. Pre-1840, New Zealand was dominated by tribal rule. Utu, revenge, was the cornerstone of pre-1840 Maori culture and life. This was the reason Maori were self-annihilating between 1800 and 1840. In this period, the Musket Wars, the Maori population was halved. This was Maori killing Maori, unceasingly paying each other back for offences committed against each other. So Kiwis have to decide, do they want tribal rule or do they want democracy? Because if you want democracy, you're going to have to really fight for it. You can't just sit at home doing nothing and complaining because it's coming. All right. So Utu or revenge is obviously still a big part of Maori culture and life in modern New Zealand. How do we know? Well, this explains why 52% of prison beds are occupied by Maori. In the following video on Maori TV, Maori accused the police of, quote, racially profiling Maori, particularly in Hamilton. Which means what? It means that police and the courts are simply picking on Maori because they are dark-skinned. This is what the Maori accuse us of. But is this really so? Well, Dr. Greg Newbold, Professor of Sociology, Anthropology and Human Services at Canterbury University, refutes this accusation and puts the record straight. He maintains that high numbers of Maori in prison can be attributed to one factor only. What's that? Maori culture is a culture of violence. This video clip is mostly in Maori, but the idea of what the video is about is easy to grasp. So just hang in there with all the Maori language, but you get the idea of what's going on. So watch.
E te iwi, kei te rangahau te kōmihana tika tāngata, mena rā he wairua kaikiri tō ngā kōrero I puta mai ai I te waha o Greg Newbold, mātanga taihara, ki te reo tātaki nei. Hei tāna he hononga pūmau tō te Māori ki ngā mahi taihara.
Ko kirikiri roa kei te tihi o ngā tatauranga mo te hunga e whara ana I te ture hāmene tuatoru, ko te whakapaia, nā te Māori tonu I pērā ai.
Well, I think it's largely because of the large number of Maori living in Hamilton and the Waikato region compared to places like Dunedin or even Christchurch. Maori are highly overrepresented in violent statistics.
He tatauranga e kore e taia te karo e ai kia Greg Newbold.
The police statistics, prison statistics. For example, 60% of all the people in prison are in for crimes of violence, and 50% of all prison inmates are Maori. The majority of Maori in prison are in for crimes of serious violence.
Ka haere tonu wāna whiu kōrero me te whakaaro, nā te kaharawa o ngā mahi tūkino tamariki i ngā kāinga Māori, ka puta ko manawariri.
Children who are brought up with violence, exposed to violence, children who are brought up with alcoholic role models, and alcohol abuse is also highly overrepresented in the Maori community. People who are brought up in those types of dysfunctional environments grow up to be the violent offenders of tomorrow.
I te rā marama I puta ai te pūrongo Just Speak, me te kitenga, he nui ke atu ngā kirimangu ka mauherea I ngā kiritea. Kei te karoa Newbold I te whakaaro, he hua tēnā o te whakahāwea a te ture.
It's a cop-out, in fact, to say that it's a reflection of police bias or court bias. That's a nonsense.
He whakai ana te kāhui tika tangata, he taumaha rawa ngā kōrero a Newbold. Engari kāre te kāhui mo te whakaputa whakaaro, kia tirohia rā nō ngā kōrero. Tino Wycliffe, te karere.
So wasn't that interesting? And it looks like the Maori are going to take Greg Newbold to the Human Rights Commission for some sort of offence when he's just telling the truth. Well, that's classic, isn't it? The place of parenting in the culture of crime. I want to talk about this. Okay, back to my own home. When rocks, eggs and bottles were thrown at my home, it was obvious that the young people doing this had been put up to this by their parents. The parents know that they can't do these crimes themselves because they are adults, and adults can be held account in our justice system. So they get young people to do the dirty work for them, their children. There are no real consequences for young people in our justice system, and the parents know this. So the adults supply the eggs and the instructions, and so what is really happening here? Adults are training their children to be criminals. Hence the vicious cycle of high Maori imprisonment rates is guaranteed to continue, and the parents are to blame. The parents don't sort of get this. So when Maori parents urge their children into crime, these children learn to disrespect property, to disrespect people with opposing views, to take no responsibility for their actions. The vandalism is fine, that bullying and intimidation are to be applauded, that their parents don't have their best interests at heart. You see, when these kids get older, they say, you know what, my parents encouraged me to do a criminal act, to do criminal things, and then they'll turn against their parents, and then there's another dysfunctional, kid on the block, and on it goes. So really, parents need to be held to account because they are messing up the lives of their children, helping them to fail in life. No wonder Maori are at the bottom of the barrel with every negative social indicator. Who says this? Well, none other than Willie Jackson. Watch this video clip.
Why does the government want more co-governance?
One, co-governance has been around for many years.
But why does the government want more?
Well, it's been around for many years because it's been really beneficial, particularly in the natural resources area. In terms of why we want more because we want to close the gap in terms of Māori and Pākehā in every area, Jack, every area in society, whether it's education, employment, in socio-economic area, Māori lag behind. In fact, the only area we don't lag behind in is in skin cancer. So in every area of society, we want to try and close the gap.
So there you have it, Willie Jackson saying Maori are really bottom of the barrel in every single area of our society. But why are Maori failing in every area, Willie? That's the question. See? Well, you know what? We actually want to help Maori. In 2024, I wrote a paper called What is the Solution for Maori? It's been read by many thousands of people. We know this because it was made into an online flipbook, and so we can harvest statistics about how many people are reading this document. We can only presume that many Maori have read it, yet not one Maori has connected with us to say, hey, let's do it. All we've got from Maori is radio silence. I wonder why. Well, it definitely appears to me that they don't actually want to be helped. That's the truth of the matter. I'll put a link to this document in the description of this video so you can read that. I really urge you to read it and to get alongside some Maori and really help them if you can. Where are the good parents breaking the criminal cycle in their families? Where are the parents teaching their children how to argue and debate issues with facts and not opinions? Where are the parents teaching their children to respect people and property? Where are the parents teaching their children how to respect people with views different from their own? Seemingly, going by the statistics, they are just not there. So what's going to be the punishment for these death threats? Well, according to this Crimes Act, it says here, the Crimes Act 1961 of New Zealand makes threatening to kill a crime. The threat can be made in person or in writing through a text or whatever. The threat can also be the cause of grievous bodily harm, The The maximum penalty for threatening to kill is 7 years in prison. They're there, so there you go. Okay, so that's where the prison statistics are getting ballooned out, and the beds are all being filled up with Maori because they just can't help it. Well, why am I the subject of Maori activist crime? It could be that I'm telling lies and untruths about Maori. That could be one explanation. But if this were so, how is it that not one Maori has come forward to point out one untruth or lie in any of the 302 videos we've produced? Not one Maori has come up with anything to say that we're saying is a lie or was not true. Nobody. We can therefore eliminate lies and untruths as the motive behind Maori crime and violence towards me personally. So what is the only other reasonable explanation? We are telling the truth about our current political situation in New Zealand. That's got to be what it is. Truth Maori activists don't want other Kiwis to know. In truth that they don't want to know. So what other explanation is there? Well, you know the answer. There is no other explanation. Alright, that's enough for this video. Thank you for watching, you guys. Please subscribe. That's most important to us. And so that we can keep getting the information out to Kiwis and keep moving forwards. Alright, you guys are awesome. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realized that only about 1/3 of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. The little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.